Right, hello everyone and welcome back to Britain's Hidden History number 90, and they said it would never last. Right then, music special to start us off. Play it away, boys. Wow, I've got a lot of people waiting. I gotta do my bit as well. You gonna nod me in on? Oh, this is such an important episode today. Enjoy a bit of music first. Really important stuff. I was going to keep up my sleeve for another year yet. Right, don't mind it. I don't know why I've been doing cheese bond. Oh my god. Keep going, keep going. Right, okay everyone, right, we've got a big thing tonight. Got new maps to show you, all sorts of great stuff. I've got these amazing maps to share with you, which will be coming on in a second. I think I'm supposed to be doing the bass riff now, but never mind. Hey, oh boy, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Right, is that going to jump back to me? Well done. Where was I? I know I was rubbish. I let them down. They worked hard. They rehearsed, and I couldn't do a simple bass riff. There we are. What can you do, eh? Right, okay, really, really important. I'm in trouble with the musical director now. Oops, sorry. Okay. Right, I've got to rehearse hard. Those three were very good. Just me letting them down again. All right, okay. Right, now there's loads of people online. Let's say hello to. Hang on a second. Now, Martin Leaker, he's got his big tour coming out, which I'm invited on. Yay, so I'll show you about that in a second, okay? So well done, Martin. Sherry, hello, Sherry. We've got Reen, David Mosley, Monica, good evening. Yes, good evening, Monica. Hello, 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 everybody. It's Germany. Paula D, Ross and Children, admin, it's me again. I didn't contact you yet, but we're here early. Will you please check? I don't think your payments has gone through, Paula, because we got 20 odd members now and their graphics has come through. So, and it's on the thing, it doesn't show you registered as paid, so I'm sorry about that. It's only a couple of quid a month, and I do appreciate the members who help out, keep everything going. Ancient descriptions that look half alien and a few letters look a bit pre-Colburn, I would say, says Monica. Ooh, interesting, okay. Now, this week, just to fill you in, the King Arthur conspiracy. We're almost there, and I really want to get it out in the next few weeks. Come off to see Wilson and Blackett soon, Alan and Barham. I'd like to get them to sign some copies and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to push it through as quickly as possible. So we've got Marshall is working flat out, Peter's working flat out, I'm flat out. Patricia, we're all trying to get this done quickly, so do our best. I'm going to start looking at getting the pre-orders up, all right? So what does Monica say here? It says that the church and monarchs are contact with a half-man, half-reptilian creature underneath. No joke. Wow, well, I don't know much about that. There we go. People think it's possible. Let's go for that. Right, I want to say here, a quick introduction to welcome to new people. And I'm hoping that some of the people watching this on playback will be here as sort of guests, if you like, maybe coming for the first time. Hopefully maybe from CADW or from, if you're a councillor, MP or, leader of the country, whatever, you're very, very welcome. We've got some fascinating information I want to share, because I'm hoping that people who watch this will share and let these people know. Send a message. There's email addresses in the description. They need to know about this because our local hills are in South Wales, and it's happening all in England as well, and Scotland, just one example. There's a very specific example here I want to show. Because what's happening is, with these so-called wind farms, power stations they're putting on the hills, with a massive destruction that comes with them, millions of tons of concrete and the cement shipped across from India and all this kind of stuff. So they're not really good for the planet anyway. And as I always say, if the whole of Wales shut down tomorrow, it make about 0.001% difference to the world's CO2 levels. Whatever. So it's fully bonkers. And what we're going to show tonight is quite a bit of what is disappearing. Richard DJ, how is King Arthur the musical going? Good question. Doesn't go anywhere a second. No, I have done the membership perks, David. Yes. Please check again. There we are. Like, he's got his arrow end up by his name. Look, it's appeared. There you go. So you can see David Mosley. The arrow end's appeared next to his name. And hopefully I can add some more stuff on there, like highlighted comments, stuff like that. Right, so hello, Gary Taylor. Busy watching the FA Cup. Did Cardiff City beat Liverpool yet? I don't know what's happened here. I don't think so. Right, hello, Tudor. Hello. I'd like to say hello to everyone. Martin. Oh, there's loads of conversation. Thank you very much to everyone coming back again and again. And what I'm going to ask now is, these maps are... this is really, really important stuff. And this is not being done in response to the fact that these hills are about to get, well, in historical and archaeological terms, destroyed. 8 metre wide roads, and I'm not sure people realise, but for every wind turbine, the footprint of that might be 20 metres across or something, but for everyone has to have be erected by a crane, and that requires a huge platform because the weight you're dealing with, I mean, the ones going up over here are going to be 200 metres high. I mean, it's like more than 2 football pitches going straight up. I mean, it's just... oof, you know, so those, and another thing, when I speak to people, they don't seem to realise, well, I certainly didn't realise, that they only last about 20 years. This is not a long-term solution. And you think, well, you just take the turbine down, put a new one up. No, you can't do that. Because what happens with the huge powers on the rotors causes a rocking motion in the platform itself, which makes it, I don't know why, but it makes it unusable again. So you have to put another platform, another concrete, another one up it goes. So one of the things we keep saying and mentioning on here are things like star maps and why Sengennydd Common is important, but also the surrounding area. And there's so much research we haven't finished yet. Now, I've been, as you know, there's loads of projects going on. One of the projects, I'm going to show you these, is... which is going to be the next project after King Arthur Conspiracy, was a new look at the star maps and how they all relate. And everyone wants to say, how do they fit on the maps? And we're going to do all that. And it was going to be the next project. And it was planned to come out the end of this year, early next year. But clearly, it's got to happen now. This is why, if you're new to the channel and you come along to watch this episode because someone's invited you, this is why. We've got to get this information out now. And these are hand-drawn maps by the mighty Alan Wilson himself. And I've got some ideas. These are huge. These are like gold dust. I know there's people I know who've been trying to work out these maps just looking at things like Rich Planet videos. So you can see these maps have been around at least 10 years on the Rich Planet video. And people freeze frame and try and get the details, alright? So I will go through all this. We'll be all through tonight. So you got this. Hello, Leonard. Hello. Good to hear from you. So there's a proper ordnance survey map. And on here, this is where Alan has marked out different... I'll just read a couple off to give you an idea. This covers a big chunk of South Wales. And the centre, and I have drawn some things so you can look on the screen in a minute. They all come out from is Sengennydd, alright? That's why it's so important. That's the centre, and you can work out from there all the zodiac and where they all go. Things like, you know, just over there, we've got Pontypridd is covered by this. We've got Orion's over there, Orion's belt. You can see the 3 mounds on the Garth. We go across to Newbridge. There's Toyner. There's loads, all right? So all this is going to come up. Possibly not all that tonight, though, okay? So what I do is give the overall way of looking at it. Okay, well, let's get all my maps ready. So we're going to look at that. I'm going to show briefly the spirals. But then, very importantly, these are bits I've drawn out specifically, are the Dream of Ronabwy, sorry, from the Mabinogi. You can see the journey. Is that upside down? I think it probably is. Hang on. So you can see the journey as described in the Mabinogi, which is, you know, over 1,000 years old. So we're talking about really important historical stuff here. So you see the route and how that leads to Mabinogi. I try to redraw these only roughly at the moment. I'm going to do proper drawings and everything for when we're going to do another book. And then we've got this. This is very important. Sorry if that's rustling, it's getting annoying. What I'll be doing is I'm really sitting on this map because Wilson Blackett gave me this to be used for the new book and that. And this shows you the Sengennydd area, which we come on to Abertrydur, where those places, and some clues which are not fully explored yet as to why it's such a crucial area. Right, okay. Yeah, I can see some good, interesting discussion there about wind turbines, stuff like that. Right, okay, so we normally have a little bit of music to get the show going, so you had a bit of that. Sorry, I messed it up. I'm being Arnie's bad books now, because I know he worked hard on that. And the boys got all their bits right, and I was just terrible. Sorry, Arn. Please forgive me. No. Not for a while yet. I should stay out the music. I mean, that's what I should have done, because I was rushing on getting this, wasn't I? Alright, so hopefully you're going to see a bit of a shared screen. So as you saw this on the caption card, there's the 3 giant maps. I just photographed them. I was going to use the photographs, but it's quite difficult. They don't come out very well. I'm going to have to get them properly. I don't know. How do you get A2 pieces of paper photocopied these days? You used to be able to go to libraries and stuff like that, didn't you? Don't know what you do anymore. Right, I need to move things around a bit so I can see the comments as well. If you could bring your notebook nearer. Those precious maps. So let's do a few news items. It's going to be very, very short tonight because I really want to get onto these. And there's going to be people coming along, hopefully, watching the show tonight who don't normally come. It might be your first time. Show's growing every week, which is great. 1,500 views last week. I mean, it's awesome. The people who come every week since it started amazes me. We're almost up to 2 years now. Isn't that amazing? So, to go just give an idea on the normal shows, do news. So one of the things we got here was I'm going to do a follow-up on an interview and a short video, hopefully, with Robert, or Lego, as you know from the show. And this is to the Wild Fox, I don't know what they call it, a country park or a holiday centre or something. I'm just peeling off there. And that's going to be near my stag, and that's the whole hill area complex. Not really destroyed, but it's going to become chalets and a holiday park and all this kind of thing. And maybe it'll generate some jobs. So what we're trying to do is point out the historic significance of that area, and then hopefully they're going to use that. Develop the thing sensitively and maybe even bring it in there. I mean, I think it'd be really cool. It's very close to the Battle of Badon, so you could have Arthur's Court, and you could have... Guys, let me just turn that down a bit, please. I'll close the door. All these kind of things. You could have their name areas after the different knights, perhaps, that kind of stuff. Do lots of things, all right? So please follow up with that. They've been very open so far, which is great news. And also, regard to wind farms and everything, please, please, please send emails to the Butte Energy, and you can see in the description, email address, say, please just ask some questions, where the road's going to go, where the platform's going to go, are you aware of the history on the hill, what you're doing about it, just stuff like that, okay? Let them know that people are concerned. There's an article I'm not going through now, but it's the sort of thing we'd normally discuss quickly, and I'm doing more short videos during the week, so you can have a look, alright? So thank you to Mandy for that one, it is worth looking at. The link is there, or we get it from the description, and we'll go through it again later in the week. Right, this is what I do want to talk about quickly, because Martin Leaker, and I saw him on the comments, does a fantastic show, Flat Earth Britons. Was it Flat Earth British? Sorry, get it right, Ross. And if you want to look, you'll see that... hang on, it's just... can I just jump to that quickly? Oh, I had so many things open. I'll tell you what, actually, yeah, let's do a quick look at this one. Right, so there's a quick look at this 2,000-year-old thing. So normally we go and look through that, 2,700 years. Discovered a site in Wiltshire. So it's not just about Wales, this show, right? It's mostly about, well, anywhere in Britain. I've also got videos running on... how do we stop this blasted thing? Right, also got done videos on New Zealand, Canada, and there's going to be a special coming up soon on the hidden history of Taiwan. How weird is that? I did quite a lot of filming when we were over there a couple of years ago, and it's a great example because you can see their history being rewritten before your eyes. And it's been rewritten at least twice in the last 50, 60 years. So I think sometimes people think when it's their own country, it's difficult to get your head around the idea that your history can be rewritten and things can be hidden. You'll see it happens a lot. So this one is from Wiltshire, and they found some really early fragments and they got some ideas. And I'll be doing a video later in the week to discuss that, okay? Hang on 1 second. Hang on. I've got so many buttons to press tonight. Here we go. That's the one I want. Right, so this is you can get tickets and everything on the tour. I'm not going to be on every date, but I'm going to be speaking at some of this. Hooray! I'm not speaking about flat Earth, all right? That's just a bunch of open-minded people, and it's a very interesting speakers, very good. Lots going on, and I'll be talking about hidden history. So you'll see some of the locations, the dates. There's a really funky video if you go to the website, good music and all that. Just give you an idea, some of the dates. I'll be at Cardiff, hopefully Torquay, Glastonbury, Bath. And I'm hoping to coordinate a visit to Wilson and Blackett for the Newcastle ones as well. And I'll definitely be there at Birmingham, okay? There's Jade, one of the other speakers. It's going to be a big day thing and all that kind of stuff. And I'll run some of the funky videos later, okay? But not really set up for it yet. Anyway, so if you don't know anything about that work, go and have a look. And it's very interesting. So I should get rid of this. I think this will help. Let's get rid of my usual. Can you just dump that somewhere, please? It's just getting in the way. Epic! There we go. People are excited about that. And you see live. And I'm going to try and organise more live things as well. One of which is the musical, which I'm going to nag, the mayor, Mr. Johnny, Mayor of Brecon, see if we can get that venue, because the rules do seem to be relaxing finally in South Wales. We're a bit behind the rest of the world. There's still quite a lot of rules about having people together and all that kind of. You can't see me again. What's happened here? Right.
You could see. I think it's just slipped or something.
There we go. There, I can see me better now. All right, cool.
Slipped, because we could see you.
Right, I'm going to dive straight in tonight. All right, I'm going to go straight in. I'll say straight in. About 20 minutes. I managed to get through somehow. Okay, so this is a wonderful precision map I've drawn here. This is a copy of. Behind me, you can't see, my face blocks out the bit that says Wilson and Blackett, 1993 they drew this, okay? They didn't actually draw this. So what I'm going to do first of all, hang on, I've jumped the gun slightly. No, let's go this way first. We'll go this way first. This makes sense. So what we're looking at is, first we're going to talk about is the Dream of Ronabwy, which is from the Mabinogi, okay? So this is the big original. Well, that's actually a photocopy of the original. Got a couple of those. So what we got down here, this bit is Cardiff Bay. All right. There's the major rivers crisscrossing in Wales. Whoop! Can you put the pile back in? I'm sorry, I accidentally flicked it out. All right. Okay. Let's look at it. All right. Okay. Let's look for any questions. Right. Okay, so there's can you see my cursor? There's the major rivers. This is Cardiff Bay. And you'll see what all these places are in a minute. And this is the sort of the basic King Arthur territory. All right. The reason I'm showing this first, without going into too much detail, you can see we can read more about it in Ark of the Covenant, is to show what we have with the Mabinogi is a combination of historical events, historical characters, used as an analogy to tell star stories, okay? To tell stories regarding astronomy. And the Mabinogi goes all the way back to creation. How the world started, the Great Flood, how the people arrived in the country, all these things are in the Mabinogi. And people think they're just reading children's stories. And they're missing out on a massive, massive part of the information. And I have to say, Wilson and Blackett deserve huge respect and commendations for that, because I can't find anyone else who's written about that. Only them. And other people have seized on their work and expanded on it, which is great, but they're the first to spot this. All right, so let's give a little bit about that journey first. So I popped a few places on there. The key one is at the top, the big letters, is the St. Gennydd Mounds, okay? This is on top of St. Gennydd Common. this is saying there's a key place, and this is slap bang where a wind farm's going to go. So all that's going to be destroyed. Now, if you've been looking at the videos of Jules or Llewellyn Bren, which I put a couple up this week. Thank you very much. Also to Deborah for help with the editing. We get a lot more videos up now. We got Deborah on editing. The videos are flying up. And you'll see on there, I filmed stuff up on St. Genevieve 6 months ago. Yes, about 6 months. Before we knew anything about the wind farms or anything. We had all the time in the world. We were quite happy. We were wandering around, looking at the... Oh, need to plug it in quicker than that. Oh, well. It's like... Yeah, don't worry, I can't see the comments for a moment. That's what it means. So we're all the time in the world, and you'll see on those videos, I'll put a couple more up, you can start to see where we're following, trying to work out the lines of the stones. You've got the set of 3 stones, which is the Polaris stone. You've got Cromlechs, and one, which is really fascinating, and this is for you, Jules, all right, for Llewellyn Bren. There's a stone up there called the Judge Stone, which he's talked about on his videos. And he mentioned it to me, and he said, no one knows why it's called the Judge Stone, right? So it's always called the Judge Stone. Forever. And no one knows why. And putting pieces together, fair play, Mr. Jules, he's come up with, partly by reading Wilson and Blackett, but also using a bit of his own nous and observation, he's managed somehow to hit upon something which you'll see tonight. And I think it's the first time this has been seen outside a couple of people, like myself, Alan and Baron, and a couple of people who helped draw the maps. That's probably about it. So it's a bit of an exclusive tonight, okay? So this is the bit we're going to talk about most later, the St. Genevieve Mounds around there. This is all part of this sort of territory, okay? So what we have here then, you can look up videos, type in Camelot, there's Carmelo or Camelot, Carmelo, and you'll see there, we've been there, and you can still see the field's still there. We can't get the LiDAR on it, frustratingly, but you can still see a couple of where the towers were. You can see the elevated section where the castle itself was. It was called Camelot. It's marked on the Ordnance Survey maps as the field of the castle, or castle field. And yet you mention this and people think you're bonkers just for suggesting there was a castle there, or castle field, where you can still see the towers. And certainly if you excavated, you'd find a castle there, but still, it's all just crazy Wilson and Blackett conspiracy stuff. Bonkers, isn't it? So what happens there at Camelot, and the idea is it means the yellow fort, and you've got the sulphur springs there, which gives us the yellow. And what seems to have happened is when this story got taken back to, when the Normans took it back to France, Melin became Melo, Camelot, and then it's probably the English translating Melo back and made it Camelot. And that's how we get the name. And we also have there the place called Cwbwrdd, which is the mutually together table, which is, Alan Wilson says, is very evocative of the Round Table and the Arthurian stories. So this is the origin of a historical King Arthur, but all the time in these stories, you're getting stories, history, and astronomy or astrology mixed in as part of this rich mix. And this is the wonderful thing you find with these old stories. Words have multiple meanings, and so do stories and lessons and things within them. Just checking how we're doing on the... Well, I think people are talking about something else. Yeah. It would be interesting to see how it ties in with the Star Forts. I think someone else has mentioned. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, I also... I don't know why the live chat didn't work on the playback last week. Hopefully it does this week, because the comments are interesting to see. And all I ask you to remember is, this is a family-friendly show. It's Sunday evening, it's light-hearted, bit of humour, bit of songs, there's some more songs in it. So no swearing, no aggression, all right? Nice and chilled and relaxed, and share the love, and let's look at this history and learn from it. As you always do, nice friendly atmosphere. Okay, so what the story here says, Camelot is Cardiff Castle, which, as you know, goes back to the Roman era. Lander Cathedral, probably the first cathedral in the world. It goes back to the 170s, 179 probably, when that was founded. There's a place called Denis of Powys, called Dinas Powys, which people think Dinas means town of Powys. No, it's Denis of Powys. Which also reminds me of one more thing I want to show you at the end. If I remember the grand... I'm going to give a little spoiler for next week. Well, I'll continue doing more on the maps, or what I also have from Wilson and Blackett now, is an enormous family tree, which takes the British family back before King Arthur, spreads all the way out, all the way down to the Tudors and stuff, and how it links with Elizabeth, the royal family. So that's pretty cool. So we'll get back to that, okay? And then there's what's called the folded or ruffled land, described again as stream of Ronabwy, and that's the dunes and everything. And this is the Vale of Glamorgan here, the sort of the flat, the plains, the agricultural areas. I've got Ogmore Castle, which is where you can see the Arthur Stone. And this is the area where the armies gathered before moving up to the Battle of Ogmore, okay? And there's the old castles. So this is the route we're looking at. Pretty snazzy, hey? So we start off St. Gennyth Mounds in the dream, and this is where you see Arthur and Owain playing Gwyddbwyll. And by the way, quick plug, if you go to their website, you can buy we've made copies of how the game works, Gwyddbwyll, with a little board and pieces, and it's a good fun game, okay? It's not chess, it is a game. It's a game of strategy. Good fun, play with the family. Easy rules. Very clever tactics. A bit like drafts, you have to really think about things, even though the rules are simple. Now, when these knights and everything are coming back and forth to Arthur and Owain, if you read the story, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Why these people keep coming back, and the eagles are coming in, and different things are happening throughout the story. Well, what's being described there is the motions of the different planets. And one of the difficulties people have understanding and accepting that story is because it kind of drilled into us from a young age this Newtonian idea of this perfect solar system which goes on and on and on and on with the planets going round and everything. Whereas it turns out nothing like that. Now, whether it's flat, round, bumpy, whatever, it's not been stable. What's above us? That has changed, okay? This is the point. And you can learn about that from these stories. So this whole map and everything, this whole area is really, really important. And the question is, why did it start at St. Gennyth? Why is that the place where they played this game of Gwyddbwyll? And why is that the place that they were talking about the stars and the astronomy and what's going on, about comets and all this kind of stuff? Why St. Gennyth? Okay, so here's the area. It's rather... I've done this as a kind of... hang on, that's the Dream of Ronabwy. Let's get this right. It's quite abstract at the moment. I'll start putting the details on, okay? So this is the area we're talking about here. What is Denise in English? Just the name, Denise. Denise, like the Blondie song. Denise, I'm so in love with you. Denise, da da da. Whereas Dinas means town. And people, it's been mutated over time to Dinas Powys. So in the middle of the Vale of Glamorgan, you got a town called Town of Powys, which doesn't make any sense at all until you realise it doesn't say Dinas, it says Denise. Anyway, there you go. So there's and Denise is on the family tree, and you'll see all that next week. Okay, that'd be brilliant. It's awesome. Right. So anyway, so this is sort of 4 miles by 2 miles area, and I'm going to leave this blank here, this thing blue, and let you think if you can work out what that is. What that is and why it's there. There's the swamp. All these are areas you can see up on the St. Gennyth Common, okay? Now, I've drawn this quite quickly. It's not perfect to scale or anything like that, alright? That takes time. But hopefully it'll give you a nice abstract idea. Alright, so here's some of the areas being put on there. And these are all areas you can see on the place names up on the St. Gennyth Common, okay? You can visit these places. Now, there's some conjecture over where some of them exactly are. And this is why we need more time to research it. And the layout is so important. You can't just avoid the most famous rock art or something like that. You've got to look after the whole thing. It's really important. So you've got the Mound of the Queen of Heaven, which is called Hen Eglwys. Okay. We've got the Swamp of the Soldier, White Mountain, Mountain of the Mayors, Polaris Stone. All these places you can find, and this is what we're trying to map out, and what Llewellyn Bren and Warren and places like that, his friends, are doing. Although they haven't seen this map. So this will make this will help them make sense of a lot of things they've already found, okay? Alright, so what we got over there then, you can start to put in the different stars. Now the way this seems to work, and I'm going to chat with Alan again about this in a few weeks' time, and record it. I mean, he's almost 90, so these conversations are getting more and more difficult, but once you get him off on a roll, he's fantastic. All the information is still there. Just going to prompt him and nudge it to get out a bit, alright? So, and don't forget, June we're going to have his 90th birthday party, so get ready to go for a trip to Newcastle. Right, so Carnev, Elidion, this is Reconciliations, this is Gemini, and you can find all these places. We put a few more on. Now this Orion, so I'm thinking here this must be the Garth with the 3 belts of Orion. I haven't done the full research yet. Like I said, they are all worked out and plotted on a proper Ordnance Survey map, and there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of them. If I put it a bit closer, hopefully you can see the lines coming off like a... Hang on. There we are. So if you're really sharp and you pause that, you can get a lot of the information from there, okay?
We can't see it very well. You just call it.
I'll go full screen. Thank you, Arnie. Alright. Well, you can see that. What you really have is like the central point, and everything comes off. And what Alan's done with Barham is measure the distances, the angles, the bearings, and then if you track it down, it's a bit like Hugh did with his Zodiac up in Gwynedd. When you get to the places, this is where it gets weird, okay? All these places and that, you find the mounds and the place names, they match with the stars. And that's where it starts to get a bit weird, okay? And you start to think, how on earth do they do all this? So you got Gemini, and then these other ones here. And the thigh in that is interesting, because the thigh goes all the way back then to the ancient Babylonian stories. And if you think in the Bible in that, with, I think it's Jacob, as the battle, and he damages his thigh. The thigh is always the offering to the gods. So this shows an ancient link with sort of Middle Eastern religious ideas, and you know which one came first, all that kind of stuff. We can discuss it, okay? So some more things there. Now this is one particularly, I think, Llewellyn Bren. I was hoping he'd be on tonight. I know he's busy on Sunday evenings, unfortunately. But this will get him very excited because he lives... his back garden basically leads into the Field of Javelins. And he's on about the Field of Javelins. So you can see where this fits in here. Then you got the head and the old town of the Invitation. So this area is getting absolutely crucial. Again, you put some more in. And then you start to see the serpens. If you know your star signs, you see the eagle appear in the Carn, Hen Eglois. Now, what I was saying was, I want to be asking Alan Wilson to clarify, because it seems to be, and it's why the stones are so important. What we have, this area in here, is a 4x2 mile smaller version. So that's the smaller version of the night sky, if you like to put it simply. The astronomy, the stars, the major star signs, they can be seen from there. And what we're trying to work out when we're up there is, can you use that sort of smaller map to find the central point and then follow the various stones? Do they point to the constellations? Because the total area covered is, we're looking 40 miles by 20 miles. It's the whole area. So it's loads of hills, loads of places. So the question we're going to look at here, are we... do you have a miniature map in this area, which I think it is? Or is it a case of there's a vantage point and you can follow the lines of sights to hit all the different star signs? And what I've done so far, I've been up there, and I would have thought the centre point would be the Polaris stone. As you can see, that's over here on Alan's map. And I need to confirm with him, is that the same Polaris stone as the 3 stones we've seen in the farmer's field, which would fit with it being there. Because if you look at it, Polaris is actually a tri-star. So 2 bright stars and 1 slightly dimmer one. And that field's got the 2 big stones and 1 slightly smaller one. Just type in Polaris stone, it should come up on the videos. And we did another one before we got kicked off. But then the farmers and everyone, they're all on side now because they don't want their whole area destroyed by putting a power station up there either. They don't want the wind turbines and all that. So, and it's all going to go. All this is going to go. We haven't even finished the research yet. Although clearly Wilson and Black have done a lot more than I've got in their notes so far, and a lot more they've done on the maps, and a lot more is in the books. So I need to get as much information from them as possible before we get too old to pass it on, let's put it nicely. And also we need to continue doing our work. And there's serpents at the top. It's very important, the dragon, Draco. Oh, there's the answer to the question. By the way, one last reminder on this one. What is these 3? I'll give you a clue. It's a confluence. So in Welsh, confluence of 3 waters is Aber-Trydydd. So this is Aber-Trydydd. So I suggest that this map actually needs twisting a bit to get the north-south right. Just to give you an idea. Right, just a second. Makes sense for them to be all across Britain. Yes, this is the interesting thing. One of the things... Oh, hang on. Thank you, David. Alan writes that the western end of the Diff, Cardiff, I think, is now on part of the Anganogroid, Ely, etc., down to Wenvo. Oh, hang on. There's too much information I think I've missed on there. Yeah, Dav is really good on this. He's better than me on this one. I mean, I've spent my time on... They've got so many different areas, Wilson and Blackett. If you're new to their work, this is just one of 20, 30 subjects. I mean, this week what we've been doing, and I will share a bit of that in a minute with you, is how to read ancient Etruscan using Colburn, the old British writing system. And the Welsh language hasn't changed much. You can still use it as a key, and you can read things. And I will share a couple of examples of that as well. So this is hugely important and really exciting. Sorry, I'll come back to that in a second. And so I've rushed through it because I just want to get the overview. And if people who haven't seen any of this before just want to start getting into it a bit, it'd be great. Now what you do have then, I'm going to use, excuse me a second. Oh yeah, sorry, there is one thing else I wanted to say about this. Now then, where the 2, what I haven't had a chance to draw up yet completely. There's one more map, which I'm going to show next week. And what that does then, I think it might be easier if we go back to this one. The extra significance of this map is this also represents the circle of life, a spirit journey. And this again goes back to ancient Egyptian times. And this is why, as Llewellyn Brent has, and if you stumbled on it or where you got the idea from, is as you go around, actually this seems to be the other way on the other one. It doesn't really matter. You come up to this point, you go up into the valley, as described by Llewellyn in one of his videos, and there you reach the point of death, the end of your life. It's a closed valley. And there's the judgment stone, there's the judgment, and then your soul goes off. And this whole story is told on that. I'm going to go through that more detail next week. So I hope people like that introduction to this, okay? I haven't gone into huge detail because it's a massive, massive subject. And I'm not so much people can take in one go. The point I'm trying to get across, more than anything, though, is that this area, up on the common, is absolutely crucial to this. It's the central point. It's where you can work the other stars out from. It's where the Polaris stone is. It's the centre of this wonderful star map which covers across southeast Wales, which will be ruined. There's no other way of putting it if this gets destroyed. So right, so some of the comments there. Taliesin, from my understanding, the pole star is so far away that our whole journey around the sun is in solar system is moving, not even changed position by 0.001 degrees. Well, I don't know, it seems to have changed in the past, so I think it hasn't always been the centre. That seems to be just at the moment. For a mere 10,000 years or so. But then we come on to some of that as well. So this is really important. Please go and have a look at a couple of videos put up this week with Llewellyn Bren. Whoops, sorry, wrong button. But you can see what we're doing. Right, does anyone want to sing a song quickly?
I'll go.
So I change subject quickly now, and I'll do a full thing on this. Because what I'm going to do is some short videos during the week, picking out the details and showing in more detail what it's all about, okay? I just want to give people a flavour. I've had to rush this up because we're now in February. By June, the work will start. That's what we're talking about. 4 months. The work's going to start, okay? Right, now let's have a quick... hang on a second. I've got some more to come in the show yet. Hang on a second. I just want to do a quick... oh my goodness, where's the right button? Alright. Thank you very much to David. All the way from Australia. He ordered his books, which got there, which is great news. Just to show we have the new postal system. So now if you order more books, the postage gets worked out. Everything's calculated. It's all much better. And he also sent this little cartoon, which is rather funny. It's I before flea, except after C. So there you go. But he always puts sauce buds. He's from Llywelyn. And he's in Australia, so we do a quick song, won't we, boys? Just to make him feel a little less, well, a little bit more homesick, perhaps. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you want me to join in, or are you just going to go and do it?
You.
Well, I don't know the words very well. That's the problem. You two know the words.
Different.
And I messed up this bit. You sing your version. Go on.
So do that, and then do that 3 times. It's not spelled correctly. Then do that.
As you can see, this is really well rehearsed.
And then do that. Then you do...
What do you mean I do that?
You say this chorus. You didn't do the chorus.
Well, do you want me to start the song, or are you going to sing it?
All of us.
My peace merry and wedi brifo, a David y gwasym yn ddiaeth. Mae'r baban yn y cryd yn crio, a wath wedi scrapo Johnny fach. Oi, oi! Sosban fach, berwi ar y tân, sosban fawr, y berwi ar y llaw, gath wedi scrapo Johnny fach.
My beast merry and wedi gweld.
We are going to move on in a second, okay? This is a bit of music. It's a Sunday evening, isn't it?
Baban yn y cryd wedi tî, a gaf wedi hwmen hyn. Sosben fach yn beri ar y tân.
A little bit of culture on a Sunday night.
Sosben fach yn beri ar y tân, a gaf wedi hwmen hyn.
Excellent. Oh, no verse. Jo, dau bach yn soldier.
Dau bach yn soldier, y gwtw is a mas. Sosben fach yn beri ar y tân, sosben fach yn beri ar y tân, a gaf wedi hwmen hyn.
Yay, da iawn, boys. Thank you, thank you. Right, they also bought me some time to upload. Oh no, don't give me an error, upload the documents. Right, how do I do full screen on this one? So that's going to do a little bit of, oh, hang on a second. Oh, I hate it when it does this. It does this thing, the edits turn up on it. Alright, okay, I'm just going to give a little bit of a glance here into the work we've done and the editing in that. Hang on a second. On King Arthur Conspiracy, which this, we're going to put a chapter up. Hang on a second. Yeah, I should actually go to the chapter which is going to be on the available as a free download, okay? So you can get this chapter free. Come on, open up. You can see me opening. Alright, this sets the scene for King Arthur Conspiracy. It's chapter 1. I just want to talk about this. It gives an overview of the book and explains, as you can see, thank you very much to Peter Smith for redoing this map, made it all nice and sharp. We got nice new images. There's the Grey Creek tablet and how this is in America. And if you're not aware of it, what we're talking about is the migrations to America in the 6th century from Wales with King Arthur. I know, if you haven't heard this before, it's going to think, what's going on? You probably heard of Maradoc, which was the sort of fake story in the medieval times. And that's pretty much well shown to be a forgery. And it was... there's a few people involved in that, John Dee and a few others, Hoykett, I think his name was. And they were trying to create a provenance for Elizabeth I to claim North America. And one of the claims was due to Maradoc having gone there in the 12th century, or a little bit later, but that was the kind of things they were playing. But actually, the original story comes from the 500s, from the 6th century. And you can see there, this whole book, big old book, it's read 2 volumes. The first volume is going to be all about the history of the British language and the movement. Hang on, there we go here. Oh, hang on a second. I don't know what's going on with the chat there. Oh, you haven't heard that one for years. Thank you, Patricia. You like that song? A bit of John, a bit of Sosbern Vach, yeah. Yes. Cerys Matthews does an excellent version. She does indeed. And yeah, no one's mentioned the rugby yet. I'm still wearing red. Oh dear. Just got my green jumper out. So what you can see is that this is the Colburn alphabet. I'll tell you what, let's do a little summary of this show. We got a little bit of time. I whizzed through the maps a lot quicker than I expected. I should have talked more about that. Okay, so we're looking then about... this is the crucial area in North America. Now I know we have quite a lot of people from America and from this area, because what you had there is the ancient Kentucky Historical Society, which Lee Pennington is still running strong with that one. Jim Michael really pushed a lot of this work. He used to be the chairman there, or the president. Unfortunately, he's passed away. So you can see this area seems to be where the migration went. So Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and then went down towards Kentucky and Tennessee here. Okay, so this is the key area where they found loads and loads of inscriptions on the caves and on these tablets and on stones and things like that. And Alan Wilson was invited out there back in the 90s to do a speaking tour. It was very high profile. He was translating these. He showed what they all meant, and it all worked out really well. Yeah, God bless Lee Pennington. Hope he watches this. The Welsh Odyssey. Yeah, I like that. Good term. Thank you, Kayla. So here's one, and you can actually read this using Colburn, and the book explains. I'm going to show you 2 chapters. So yeah, you can download this for free, okay? I should show you the process, shouldn't I? Oh, this Ryan's going to tell me off for getting it wrong. I'll try and show you in a second. Okay. So if you haven't seen it before, this is the old Colburn letter system, okay? So you've got letters, just like you would do any other alphabet. It's slightly different because it sort of sounds. Now, what this reminds me of, if there's anyone out there who used to do things like shorthand. If you're not aware of shorthand, it's a way of doing lines and squiggles really quickly, so you can follow what someone's saying. It's a dictation device. So in the old days, someone would write things down really quickly. They still use them in courts and that, in places where recording equipment is not allowed, so it's a useful skill. There's another system called T-line, which I think is very close to this. And my mother used to teach shorthand, so I've got an ear for it, and I was actually taught how to do basic shorthand, but I've long since forgotten that, unfortunately. But I do remember the principles, and the more I look at this work with Wilson and Blackett, the more it reminds me they're very similar, because what you do with shorthand, it works on sounds. You don't spell things. You use sounds, and quite often the vowels seem to disappear, but they're not really disappearing. So what you'll have, for example, there on this one, a B. So if you're doing shorthand, that would be B sounded. So if you were doing, see where it gets difficult, say, because things like bell or ball, you might have to clarify because they might look similar. But you could do ball, bull, a bull. There we are, a bull, right? Running around the field, bull. You wouldn't have to spell that necessarily. You can put little dashes in to show vowels. But I probably picked the worst possible example. Like she got bell, ball, bill, bowl. There's millions of them. And like I said, I didn't go very far with shorthand in that. But I've got the books though, because we've been clearing out my parents' stuff, as I think some of you are aware. And I found an old book on how to write T-line, on how to write shorthand. So if there's anyone out there... Oh, there we go, Marshall. I did T-line shorthand. Based on copper plate and very easy compared with Pitman's. Yeah, I've done Pitman's as well. Excellent. Who else has done it? I bet other people have done it there. I bet we've got some talented people in our group. Anyway, Marshall, have a think about T-line, how it works, because it's with the sounds and stuff rather than spelling, isn't it? So I think it's quite close to what we do with this. And what also, and another reason why it's quite similar, is a lot of the words, you can reduce them to a couple of symbols. And sometimes this involves writing one over another one. I'm trying to think of an example I can see here. So if you look at the ka, going that way, there's another one going the other way. Like, there we are, the da. So you can do both of those and you'd end up with something like that, look a bit like a fish or something. You can superimpose and stuff. That's what gets a bit complicated. It is quite clever and a little bit tricky sometimes. It's not as easy as the cameroglyphics, learning how to read hieroglyphs, which is dead easy. This is like a much more, well, it's almost like a shorthand. It's much quicker and more efficient. And what they used to have is little wooden sticks where you could carve it on, so it's all straight lines. So you can carve it with a knife and put that on there, okay? So this is all, you can pause and read this. It's got some nice cleaned up pictures. And this is their Braxton County stone, which Lee Penton and Jim Michael very involved in making this be maintained. Because this stone's very similar to the Grave Creek stone. And again, you can see the writing, and in the book it's all translated for you, okay? And how you read it, you can read it yourself. Now what's fascinating as well is all this goes back. You can follow the language back to Etruscan, and then where Monica is. Up there you can see how to read Romansh or Raetian. Seems to have different names, depending on who you ask. It's the same thing now. Okay, so you can have a look at this as well if you want. Like I said, you can download it. I'll show you the download in a second. So what you see there, the whole background of the story. Okay, and one thing I want to talk about quickly today is this chapter 6. You're going to see some of the edits appear. It's one of the annoying things that Adobe does. I just want to see this little, these are comments where you can see edits. It goes back and forth between myself and Marshall. So I'm not going to keep dropping them out. So what we got then is, what they've done then is look at Etruscan. And it's the same thing. If you look at some of the paintings on the walls and stuff like that, you see this kind of writing. And I put a few more pictures in from Etruscan stuff. And you'll see on there, it's the same style of writing, same letters and everything, as this ancient cauldron. So, I don't know, it's supposed to be all faked by Iolo Morganwg in the 1800s. So now it got all around the ancient world and onto stones and into ancient documents and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really make any sense, does it? Of course he didn't fake it. Why would he do it? Some kind of weird forgeries go on for generations. It's bizarre. Seems to be an attack on our history. That's what it seems to be. And this is the kind of thing that gets hidden. So this is called the Tomb of Orcus, which is like itself bizarre. I did a bit of research. They called it that because they thought some things in there were giants, which is Orcus. Only it wasn't. Even that's wrong. So the so-called experts have no idea what it says. Even their basic assumptions are wrong. Now when Alan Wilson came along in the 90s, because he was out, might be a bit earlier actually, I think it was 90s, he got headhunted to go over to Italy, because he's got this like human-computer brain, and he was called a master planner. So before you had computers, it must have been before the 90s, maybe in the 70s, a long time ago, he was there and he was going to mastermind how you then a beach, and he wanted it to be a shipyard. So just imagine the logistics in that, in creating a whole shipyard so that supplies will arrive on the right times and the right dates. And what they did, it revolutionised shipbuilding, because up until then, Britain was pretty much top dogs in many ways, and ships are built on a bespoke basis. What they changed over, lots of shorthand talk, what they changed over to was a bit more like how they produce cars, where you have a standard models, and you can put your little quirks and changes and specifications, but it's the standard model. So they could crank out ships. So they could produce about 12 ships, better than or quicker than the British shipyards could produce 1 or 2. So it made a phenomenal difference. And still there now. Pickman 2000. Yes, I know Pickman 2000 back in the day. I'm sure I could pick it up again pretty quickly. But Meg W. and Marshall, anyone else who knows shorthand, can you have a think about this sounds thing and have a look at how it works with Colburn? Because I think there's similar systems. Think about sounds. If you've done shorthand, you know what I mean, whereby you use a sound like puh, but, tuh, duh. They're the main strokes. Puh, but, tuh, duh. I vaguely remember that from when I was doing my shorthand. Vertical, the tuh, but. And then you get T-line, which is a similar system going that way. That's why it's called T-line, because it's the middle line across a T. Hey, have I got this wrong? I'm not an expert on shorthand. All right. So this attempts old. So what we've been doing and what's been taking the time is redrawing a lot of these pages, help with Peter, making it all nice and clear. And then you can see then, you get the symbols off, straight off, vases, mirrors, walls, statues. You read this cud, mutually together. You can just read it. There's these little bit of working out what these shortened versions are. And I think that if someone could do shorthand and look at this, I think there'd be a lot of clues there. Alright, okay. Let's get these stupid little yellow marks all over the place. Here's more examples. And you'll see then the stories, the writing, see this kind of thing here. All this can then be read, and it's all in the book, how to do it. That's volume 1. And here I've redrawn these. So no copyright strikes, please. Doing a bit of drawing. So these are copies, and if you read these, you have to imagine the stones turned over. Another curious thing as well, here's one to think about. All these clever people online, I would really love to see the comments on this. For some reason, obviously the first one, it wouldn't make any difference, it's just a V like that. But a lot of them, whereas it might be that way in Colburn, it's that way in Etruscan. Weird, isn't it? It's backwards. Not the whole word. The whole word isn't turned. The word's in the right order, but the letters are backwards. I'd be very interested to hear if anyone's got any ideas or theories as to why that is. Because it's a strange one, isn't it? Okay. Anyway, so let's give you a little flavour for it there. And there's loads and loads of examples, how you translate them, how you read them. I mean, it's really convincing. And he goes all the way back, and we look at Raetian. I'll just show Monica quickly. Those are the yellow marks. Oh, do you know on this one we had 10,000 edits altogether? But we're not changing anything. It's just things like spelling and, making the capital lowercase, that kind of stuff. So I've redrawn. These are deer horns that have been engraved on. This is what the original looks like. And you take all the symbols out. Romanche. There should be an H in Eros. Give myself a slap. Romanche. Then the Colburn. You see that R is the other way around? That one points left and this one points right. Left, right. Just curious why that would be the case, isn't it? I see a lot of photos online that are backwards. Thank you, Patricia. Perhaps the writer was left-handed. I don't know if that would mean you write it backwards. Could be, I suppose. 1,000 edits. Yeah, that's just you, Marshall. No, there's lots of edits. Like we change like a single quote to a double quote. So that's 1, 2, and then the capital becomes a lowercase is 3. It adds up. Well, that's in a chapter, by the way, not the whole book. Just so you know. Anyway, so I'm going to go through the whole chapter and get the book for that. But what I want to do there, is chapter 1. I'm going to see if I can just quickly do the... Uh-oh, is Angie going to... Oh, I better get this right now. I better get this right. Go to Britainshiddenhistory.co.uk. I think you can access it via cameraglyphics.com as well. Scroll down, so we got the... You can now donate, because thank you very much to those people who are sent some money. They don't want to use PayPal, which I understand. Here's videos, here's Alan. The S4C, when the cameraglyphics was on. All these kind of stuff. And what you need to do is go to the books. Oh, God. Time to start your adventure. Here's the books already for sale. Oh, no, I'll be in trouble now. International. Some of the books. Oh, I had to give you a run through on this one as well. It was easy to do as well. Angie. Hang on. Angie does all the IT and everything. We're a team, thank goodness. Where's the downloads? Downloads and donates. Here we go. Download and donate. Phew. So you can download and donate. So there we go. King Arthur Conspiracy Chapter 1 is free download. You do have to go through the whole thing, alright? Put some means of payment and all that kind of thing. I'm sorry about it. There's no way around it. But when you add it to the cart and go through and put in your how to pay, you won't get charged. It's 000. And then you'll get the download and you have the chapter yourself, right? I'm going to do more and more downloads like this. Okay, I've worked it out. I got a thumbs up from Angie. You have no idea how difficult it was. This looks like such a little thing on a website. That's a week of work to make that work. So if people did lots and lots of downloads and take advantage of it, that would be great. Okay. Oh yeah, we'll do a closing music soon, aren't you? Yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah, don't go too late tonight because I want to keep this video not too long tonight. And please, I'm really asking, please, can you contact, say, CADW, MPs, councillors, anyone you can think of. Hopefully this gives an introduction, enough flavour, and I'll put some more videos up during the week, short ones we can send to people and say, just watch this. It's so important. Look at the work Llewellyn Bren's doing. And you've got to put things in perspective a bit. I mean, even if these wind farms or whatever were amazing, you know, even if they were amazing, they only last 20 years. And we've got these star maps and stuff have been there, well, at least 1,500 years, and it could be how many thousand years, who knows. And for the sake of 20 years, what I would consider to be virtual signalling, it doesn't achieve anything anyway. What was it? 23 new coal-powered power stations going to China in the next month or something. I mean, the idea that we should destroy our history like this just to send out a signal, I just cannot get my head around it. Why aren't people making more of a fuss about this? This is what I don't understand. I tell local people, they're 200 metre high, the noise, the impact. I've got another concern. If there's any engineers out there, I've got another concern. Like on St. Genny, it's got a very famous dike going around it. And it's constant water streams and things like that. If these get cut through or damaged, does that increase the flooding risk as well, you know? Because you've got what is currently grass and ferns and things like that becomes concrete. So you have the runoff. And the ferns, they're fantastic carbon capture. I know, I'm bewildered by it. Gwynedd has many secrets yet to reveal. Yes, you were quite right. And unsurprisingly, Alan Wilson and Blackett have revealed quite a few. And I'm going to do a Gwynedd special either in the week or next week as a proper one. Right, so a little bit more chat on the comments. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I want to mention. Please have a look at it's called Vision Wales 2040, and you'll see. Because the other thing, this is just chatting off the top now. One thing Llewellyn Bren pointed out as a possibility is that in 20 years' time, quite often, the company, as part of their contract, will have to take down these towers, these enormous things, they weigh hundreds of tons, 200 metres high. It takes a lot of equipment, a lot of cost. So as part of the initial proposal, they promised to take those down. But what's happened on many other wind farm sites, you can see them all over Cornwall, for example, and I'm hoping Tim's going to come back with some photographs. I've run a short video before about it. The company, how we politely say it, changes hands a few times over the 20 years. And the original company no longer exists, has gone bankrupt or whatever. The people might still be around, but the company no longer exists. So there's no one there who will be able to, no one there is liable to take the towers down. So they just stay there rusting. And then wouldn't it be really useful and convenient if someone came along and said, hey, those horrible ugly towers, they're rusting. Why don't we take them down? We want to build a housing estate up there. And as part of the housing estate, we'll take down those old towers and put some houses up. And then you've got another housing estate on another hill. So maybe, because it'll be a brownfield site, won't it? The site will be ruined anyway. What are you worried about? Let's put some houses there instead of those ugly towers. Oh, careful.
Yeah, sure.
All right, okay. Right, okay. So far, I feel like I've whizzed through it tonight. I can't believe it's 9:15 already. And I've started a bit late as well. So perhaps I should go back to the original news stories. Right, okay, it is a school night. It is a Sunday evening. So I'm going to run it a bit short tonight. Oh, guitar's gone. Never mind. Right, IB, you going to play us the closing music?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a shorter one tonight. Because I was going to talk longer about those maps, but I think that'll do for tonight. And I'll put them back on screen. If you've got any more questions, the money stays with it.
What do you like?
Ah, yeah, what are we going to have? Is this some request then, is it, folks? What should we have for a closing song? People always put up stuff we've never heard of, don't they? Put some we do know. Right, okay, let's have a look through the quant. Thank you. Right, David. Water's reflective qualities as well. Importance of stone circles. The mirror. Right, I'll tell you what, since that's come up there. Yeah, any questions on there? Come on, we've got a few minutes to talk. If someone's got a question, that'd be great. Now, one thing... Yeah, the Welsh First Nations. Yes, thank you. Where's this? From Suzanne in Canada. Yeah, the Welsh, the idea is we start referring to the Britons, and there's English as well, we don't even realise it, who are First Nation Britons. They're not Angles or Saxons or Celts, they're First Nation Britons. And this is the ancestral, really important religious and culturally significant sites. They show some protection. Susanna's saying, so like your idea about the Welsh First Nations, as here in Canada, First Nations and ancients are connected to the land. Well, thank you, Anne. You got another cup of tea. I've been in sport tonight. The Judgestone, Patricia. Yeah, we'll go up there. We'll get Llewellyn to show the Judgestone. I don't think turbines work wherever you put them, but on the coast would seem to do less damage than the hills. Because that's the other point we've got is the damage to wildlife as well, of course. Because when you might not realise it, it's not obvious. They look like they go around fairly slowly. But do you remember those things you used to have with the line of dancers? And the one in the middle's hardly moving, but by the time you get to the dance on the outside, you're absolutely whizzing around enormous speed. And the tips of these rotor blades go about 400-500 miles an hour.
What?
Oh, yeah. They whip along. And I imagine with the bigger ones, it might be even faster. They might even get near to the sound barrier. It's only 700 miles away, isn't it? Right, okay, so what we got here? I thought Albin and Brutus brought it... Oh, hang on a second, what we got? That map reminds me of the Ursa Minor, and originally the Pole Star. Oh, thank you, Ancient Ruby. Do you mean this one? Which map are you talking about? And also, please look out for Hugh Evans, who's put some more videos out of the thing. Right, okay, so it's slightly shorter show tonight. Shorter show. So, what are we going to have tonight, Arnie?
I don't know. Any suggestions? Because I thought they were singing at the end.
Pardon?
I thought they were singing it.
Yes, I know. We bought the song. We bought the Sospen Varkin a bit early, didn't we? Yeah, no, we do need to make some effort on this one. Okay. And don't forget I'll tell you what I'll do as well. Actually, so we have got a few minutes. No, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Are you okay, Arnie B? Yeah, so thanks very much again to all those people, Patreon supporters, all the people involved in doing all this kind of thing. It makes a huge difference. And we really are fighting here now to save our history and our past. And I find it difficult to just talk on about this because it's like it's gone forever. It's not just gone for 20 years and we get it back again. It'll be gone. And another thing I want to add in is the hardcore. The gravel that's used to make the pass and everything. Anyway, come on, right. Marco Guy's the man knows the land. Marco Guy, yeah, Marco 2020. Go and look for his. Yes, watch his channel as well. Yes, Silura's 2020. I did put a link up a couple of weeks ago to Marco. Right, quite an Arnie B.
What should I play?
Oh, I tell you what. I'll just quickly do the Windfarm song again.
Oh, go on.
Can you violin it as well? You never played this one, have you? Pardon? Hey, you do it better than me, innit? Alright, we've got some more music tonight. It's a bit different tonight, so... Okay, alright, the camera's over there, isn't it? I haven't got the music or the words, so I'm going to try to do it from memory, yeah? Okay, you ready? Why does it always seem to be? Don't know what you got till it's gone. A paradise, put up a wing turbine. It's a new kind of factory made on the whole nation. With 1,000,000 tons of concrete, built at a power station. Why does it always seem to go? You just don't know what you got till it's gone. A paradise, put up a wind turbine. They took all the stones, put them in the stone museum. Just to explain, stones like the Hewell stone, which is at the British Museum, exhibited upside down and facing a wall, and is now not on display at all. So that's what that's a reference to. And they made pretty sure that the people would never get to see him. Why did it always seem to go? You just don't know what you got till it's gone. Got paradise, put up a winter bind. Hey politician, put a request, put a JCBs. Heard us enough, it's time to think the birds and bees now. Sorry Arnie, I make this too long. Why does it always seem to go? You just don't know what you got till it's gone. Got paradise, put it in a winter bind. What's the next verse? Oh, that's right. Late one night when you hear the wind drone, 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 drone. It'll be too late then to know, time to have a moan. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Arnie. You carried me to that one there. How can I not know that one? I sing it every week. Right, okay, everybody. A little bit different tonight. So we'll get back to normal format next week. Loads of new stories. And I will be giving more details on the star map itself. So look out for that, please. This absolutely treasured piece of incredibly important for my history. You can see Wilson Blackett there. The stars being mapped out to different points. The distances, the references, and that superimposes on the survey map. And I think probably be the week after we'll do the massive family tree showing it all ties in all the way up to the current royal family. So thank you very much. Another week, and till the next time. Oh, hang on, I know I got the wrong caption card up. Okay, we'll have a go anyway. Okay, next time. Hedwig. Hang on, I gotta try and change it.
Has it not worked?
No, yeah, it's good. It's got last week's caption.
Live 89 in
It was
big
show.
letters.
It's not there.
No, that was what I just said. Live 89 in big letters.
Well, this week's not there.
It's just you the one that said. No, it's not there.
Hang on.